right, horror fans. This is Mr. Isaacs here, and this is the Eye on Horror series. And this is the first video I've done here, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. As I'm sure you're well aware, if you're a horror fan, Rob Zombie has his newest version of the television show The Munsters coming out as a movie that he has written and directed and produced that is going to come out in September of this year. I was not somebody who was a fan of the original Munsters. It was a little before my time. I've seen a little bit of it, and you know, I know it's a funny show. It's a comedic show. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see what Rob Zombie's take on this is, because Rob Zombie's not a comedian. I mean, he's a horror guy, and obviously, if you watch his movies, there's not a lot of funny parts to them. But yeah, so I sat down and I watched the trailer for this, and I've got some thoughts on it, and I just kind of wanted to share those with you and see if anybody out there in the YouTube universe agrees with what I have to say. I know Rob is a huge fan of the Munsters. I know that he's a super fan of them. I remember listening to the Howard Stern show one day many years ago, and I know that him and Howard are actually really good friends. And Howard told a story about how he went over to Rob's house, and they basically spent the entire time sitting on the couch in Rob's living room watching the Munsters. So, so obviously Rob is a big super fan of the show, so he knows it inside and out, and hopefully he won't change it too much when he releases it, because I know it's a very beloved show, and a lot of people are kind of on pins and needles about this, wondering if it's going to ruin the legacy of the Munsters or if it's going to continue it or what have you. But like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what Rob Zombie can do with comedy. You know, Rob Zombie's not a comedian. He's not a comedic writer. He's not a comedic actor. He's a rock musician turned horror film aficionado who became a film director. And I'm a little skeptical here. I mean, he's got his usual cast of people that he likes to put in his movies, in this one as well. And do any of them have any comedic backgrounds? I mean, I'm quite certain that his wife, Sherry Moon Zombie, doesn't have any kind of comedic accolades. So it kind of makes you wonder, is this really going to gel? Is this really going to resonate with audiences? Because none of these actors are trained comedians. Are they going to have comedic timing? Are they going to know how to hit the jokes at the appropriate time to make it resonate with the audience? It's going to be interesting to see. And when I watched the trailer, I noticed that the cinematography looks weird, to say the least. It's very dark, kind of dingy. It looks really low budget, which is kind of surprising. Which, I mean, you know, Rob may have made it like this by design. I'm not sure. That he may have designed it to look low budget, but the cinematography definitely didn't look up to par with some of his other work. Now, I know he likes to put that kind of dingy, kind of 70s look on a lot of his work anyways, because that's what he admires. He loves pop culture and horror films from the 1970s. I know Rob is a very polarizing figure. You know, people either love his work or they hate his work. I happen to personally be a big fan of his work. I loved House of a Thousand Corpses. The Devil's Rejects is probably my favorite horror film of all time, and I'll probably do a video at some point on those two films, because I really love those two films. I think they're fantastic. As far as the rest of his body of work goes, I mean, he's kind of hit or miss. I do like his original Halloween, the first one. I actually thought that was really good. I love the fact that he gave Michael Myers a backstory. It was very brutal. It kind of stuck to the original story, but with a more brutal twist. And a more humanizing approach to viewing Michael Myers. The second one, of course, kind of went off the rails. I really didn't care much for that one. Of his other films, I like 31. I thought that was pretty cool. Lords of Salem is all right. El Super Beasto, whatever that silly animated film is. I never even watched it. I mean, I saw part of it, but I didn't watch the whole thing. Rob obviously has a strong passion for horror, and I would assume he has a strong passion for the Munsters. So, I'm optimistic. I'm going to watch it because, like I said, I'm a Rob Zombie fan, so I'm going to check it out regardless. But, it's interesting. And I've noticed when I've looked at a lot of other content creators that talk about horror that it seems like, obviously, like all other Rob Zombie projects, this is pretty fucking polarizing. It seems like a lot of them think that this is going to be a great thing. It's going to be a great film. It's going to be funny. And then I see people that are like, this absolutely looks like a piece of dog shit. So who's right? I don't know. It remains to be seen. But like I said, I'm going to check it out. I would hope that you do the same. And be your own judge. Don't let other people tell you whether it's going to be good or whether it's going to be bad, or if you should like it or if you shouldn't like it or what have you. Be of your own mind when it comes to these kind of things. And, we'll just have to wait till September and see how it goes. But like I said, I'm going to watch it because I'm a Rob Zombie fan and I'm intrigued. So I want to see what he can do with this. Hopefully it's good. This is the first of my Eye on Horror series where I'll be making a bunch of kind of short videos about movies that I like, topics in horror that I like. So if that intrigues you, be sure to hit like and hit subscribe below and throw me some comments down there and let me know what you think of the Munsters trailer and what you think of Rob Zombie's films in general. I'd be curious to know. All right. Until next time. Adios.